How we doing today, guys? It's Sam and Alex here with your weekly fishing report. Before we get into fishing, we do have some big sales coming up. This is the time of the year to stock up. This weekend is going to be one of our biggest sales of the year, especially on fishing. We're going to have all sorts of deals. 10% off all rods, reels, combos, 20% off all your tackle and stuff like that.
Getting you ready for the season. You
got to get ready this time of the year. One other thing we do have is our combos for kits. This is a great thing we're starting to do here, where if you purchased a Daiwa rod and reel and you make a donation, you will get one of these guys. But you're also supporting a great cause, helping kids get into fishing. Things are starting to change a little bit.
Right.
It's getting warmer out. We're in shorts for the first time this year.
I mean, second time for me, but yeah, it's getting hot out there. I'm kind of sweating right now as we speak. But
the lights are bright.
You know what that means? Snakehead.
Snakehead.
Yep, they're back. I know you guys missed them for this whole, I guess, off season for the snakeheads. But actually the past 2 days have been pretty hot. Water temperatures down in Blackwater apparently went up to like 52 degrees. More of an evening bite. Same thing for the Western Shore. Heard from most of the flats, like Susquehanna Flats area, was the same thing. Most fish were biting pretty much the last 3 hours of the day, and it was productive. I mean, nothing exciting, I would say, but people were catching 1 or 2 fish here and there, especially since we missed them so much this off season. And surprisingly enough, since they did get up to close to 80 yesterday, people were doing better with actual lures and minnows. A couple of the lures we have here are actually what they've used. That's one of our SS custom chatterbait there, and as you can see, it's pink. Not many people seen that, and also just pretty productive bait. White and pink seem to be pretty productive this time of the year. You can't forget about that. That's like an oversized, super oversized.
I think you catch anything you want on that thing. That thing is so well made, I think you can catch some tuna fish on it.
I mean, I bet you I can throw it out there, like you said, for tuna and catch some inline spinners, you name it. Obviously, your paddle tails can go on that. But, I mean, just productive overall. And you can't forget about our specialty float rig there for the minnows. But, yeah, that was good, productive. I think it's going to continue to get better as we get into March. Overall, it's just going to be one of those things where you guys can just go out there and scout and get ready for a tournament coming up in April.
So starting off like in the morning time when it's not as warm out and that water hasn't started to heat up, you're going to want to fish slower presentations. You're going to want to fish some minnows. Maybe a paddle tail on just solely a paddle tail rigged on like a weedless hook. But then as that day progresses, you can start to fish more reaction-based stuff like your chatterbaits and spinnerbaits and stuff like that.
So let's move on to rockfish.
Rockfish, what have you heard?
So everybody's been obviously hitting the most common spot for this time of the year. That's a power plant. Hit or miss. Nothing, not a lot of big fish, put it that way. A lot of mid-sized fish. It's not a secret, everybody. If you don't know where the power plant is, you've been missing out because everybody knows about it. Nothing, like I said, extraordinary down there, but don't forget about using those bigger baits. We got some of those new 8-inch dragon tails, your 10-inch BKDs, and one of Sammy's favorites there, them 7-inch
fat boys.
They'll catch a fish, and we're putting those on a 1/2-ounce GI jig, or 1.5, because that current there is pretty fast moving. So other than that, if you want to try this closer to home, I will say always fishing around the Bay Bridge pilings has been pretty productive.
The bridge always holds fish. They might not be the biggest fish in the world, but schoolway fish and just doing, some of the stuff we fish in the summertime, a 1/2-ounce to a 1-ounce jig head paired up with a 6 to 8-inch profile.
Right.
Can really be productive this time of the year, and it's just a matter of hitting that current right there.
And believe me, those fish are here. It's just one of those things where this year we haven't seen too many people do the guess season fishing. I know we have some weird regulations still in place from last year, but you can see we have some hardhead custom tandems there. I've seen a couple guys online and a couple people I know post some stuff about actually trolling just south of the bridge, your typical Bay Bridge down to Bloody Point and even up to Bluff Point. A couple big fish actually.
For sure.
Nothing really hot, but I think the most I heard of was like 3 fish on one trip.
That's not bad for,
they were all like 40
especially
plus
how
fish.
Springs been, so that's definitely not bad. One thing to remember anytime you're trolling the semi and the catch and release is you're going to want to pinch those barbs down so you don't get in trouble there. Besides that, perch fishing, it's starting to get going a little bit. It has been tough for the past couple of weeks, but we really do think this week here is going to be where it all blows open. Whether if you're fishing in some of those places where there's a little more current, just a classic bottom rig with 2 small hooks, a size 2 or size 4, and tipping that with a minnow or something could be great in those high current situations. If you're fishing that shallow water, it's hard to beat just a shad dart tandem. You can tip those with minnows and grass shrimp if you like, or you can fish them under a bobber. Yeah. Do a little bit more old school.
I know today I saw the Magazine Fishing Association or whatever they're called. I actually posted a couple pictures of the upper Magazine, and they started to finally see some of those, I guess the roe.
The roe and the eggs,
So they're definitely spawning. Remember, guys, try to, I guess not keep as many as those big old females. We do see lower numbers of them for sure, so keep that in mind. A little bit of conservation goes a long way.
For sure.
Yep. And I think that's, we got some trout fishing also.
We got some trout fishing. Western Maryland is stocking a lot of those ponds and stream systems over there. It's hard to beat classic, powder bait and the dough bait, fishing that on just right off of the bottom a few inches and just tipping a hook with that. Maybe about the size of your thumbnail is going to be good for you. You can also fish some small inline spinner baits like your Meps and your Rooster Tails. New to us, we have Panther Martins in.
So those are my favorite.
So those are the classics. So stop on by this weekend. We're looking forward to seeing you. Come check out our new layout we have down there.
Plenty of lures and plenty of savings. Have a good one.